One, and Mark. Hello and welcome to the EDC Duel Tournament. My name is Greedalicious and I'm joined tonight, as always, by Raven. How are you tonight?
I'm doing good, as pretty much always too.
Yeah, this
I'm
is
u I'm I'm
stability.
usually good. Yeah.
Yeah. Um. So tonight we are doing a one-handed stream, which is relatively new actually to the tournament to the scene. Usually it was just two-handers. Over the last like couple of years or so, it's ended up being more one-handeds, which is
Well, I
great.
mean, the tournaments over the last couple of years weren't necessarily like two-hand tournaments, but it's just like
That's
playing one
true.
hand versus two-hand doesn't really benefit you
Yeah.
on this game that much.
You don't really have an advantage there. But I think as the community became more competitive, one-handed started taking more of a started having more of an impact. The rules
Well, I
of this
mean,
tournament as well is it's kind of interesting because they're actually allowed to have armor.
yeah, and I think that that's a good thing. I think this kind of a tournament will especially attract like people that just want to improve their one-hand skill in kind of like a battle-ish kind of setting, you know, because you're allowed to have armor, well, you don't have a shield, and you're not in the actual surrounding of a specific map, but since it's only one hand, I do think the experience of playing in such a tournament can really help you for when you're gonna play in like battle tournaments again, or, you know.
Yeah, I think
So
so.
I think that's a good thing that that exists because and I mean you can see it as well, right? A lot of people signed up for it, so
Yeah, absolutely. I think it's good. You do have matches and stuff where you end up being one on one with a one-handed, no shield. So this is good. As we as well mentioned, like you cannot use a shield, so it relies purely on manual blocking.
yeah. I mean, I suppose it wouldn't be too bad to see a like sword and shield tournament at some point as well, but oh well. But yeah. Um,
Let's go over the players here. So let's start with Gibby. He's from UK. One Wookie. He's not that old in the competitive scene, at least. At least he didn't really make a name for himself until a couple of years ago.
Yeah, well, I mean, he's been in Milwaukee for a long
For
time, though, right?
quite a long time, yeah. But One
Yeah.
Wookie is also one of these guys who kind of just disappear for a few months and then they come back and then they disappear again. They've been more active and consistent over the last months or so.
Yeah.
But
You could say so. Well, at least Gibby's been doing a lot, so.
that's true. He seems to be really into the one-handed duel. It's also his tournament, we should mention. He's the one who organized it, and he was also the winner of last year. Last time this was done.
Yeah, do you remember how many participants they had?
I think it was quite a lot, like 70, 72, something like that.
Yeah. Because
So a
I do
lot of
think
players.
with tournaments it's often kind of important to look at uh, like the format, you know, like how many people played in it, because you know, it could sometimes be that like some really good one-hand players don't get to join if you have a very small format tournament, but it's good.
Yeah, that's true. This was open to everyone.
Like,
Everyone has an
yeah.
equal chance to play. There's also a losers bracket for those who come a
And I
little bit
don't
short.
actually think there was like a limit to the amount of players that could sign up, right?
No, he just ran it for as long as he could, and eventually it filled up to the point where you just have to stop it. Otherwise, it would just continue forever, which
Oh.
wouldn't be bad. But we should mention a little bit about the styles of these fighters as well. Because Gibby, when I asked him, he said his style was defensive, and it doesn't. It's kind of defensive. He switches around a lot. He kind of waits for his team to his enemy to make mistakes. I think you know him
Well, I
better than
mean
I do,
that's
so
kind of what you like
it's yeah, it's
expect from a defensive player, you know, like a defensive player is content to just wait his enemy out, block his enemy's moves, and just wait for his opponent to make the first mistake. And well, you can do that as long as you don't averagely make more mistakes than your opponent does, I suppose. Um, However, I do think like if I look at Maximou, like generally he prefers playing a little bit more aggressive. Like he can switch it up like player specific as well. If he feels like he needs to play more defensive versus a specific opponent, I do think he has the capability to do that, but we will have to see how it works out.
Yeah, just based on what you know of the players, who do you think have the advantage going into this?
Oh. Hmm. I actually really want to see the first couple of duels and see what kind of approach they want to take to the fights, because I think it's very hard to say otherwise. I think skill-wise, neither of the players necessarily have a very huge skill advantage or disadvantage. It's really more about how they're gonna play at the moment itself and what tools they use in order to win.
Well, you get your chance now because they're just started.
Yeah. It
It's a
looks
little bit
like
difficult to see who's who, but Maximou's the female character, Gibby's the male.
yeah, it looks like both players are just content not doing that many aggressive moves. Like if if either of them really wanted to be that aggressive, they would have gone for like more spams or chamber moves already. But it's kind of usual for the first like one or two duels, I guess, to kind of like get into a rhythm.
Yeah, you
Like I
also
don't know
just
how
want to
much
see the
Gibby
enemy.
warmed up before he fought and how much Maximou warmed up before he fought, but especially if you haven't warmed up that much, you kind of want to like use the first duel to just get into it versus your opponent. But
Yeah, you just want to see as well how solid are they tonight. If you see any weaknesses in the beginning, like that's why it's very passive right now. Not
well,
really any feints or anything.
both
just
players are
blocking.
really just testing out who is gonna be making the first mistakes, you know.
Yeah, exactly.
Like they're both trying some moves from time to time to see if perhaps his enemy, the other person, like shows a weakness or something. Like
Good
that
hit
was a
there.
really good counter hit from Gibby there.
Soft spot, but leading into another slash. Oh, good return there though by
Maximo
Maxi.
making some mistakes there,
Yeah,
which
he's
really
really
cost
most
him.
below
Yeah,
health there.
there we go.
First round going to Gibby.
And you can just kind of see, right? Like once Gibby had like one or two hits in on Maximou, and yeah, Maximou didn't really have any hits on Gibby. Gibby feels a lot more confident just going in aggressively, you know.
Yeah, Maximum does get an early hit there though. It's gonna help him out. Oh,
Ooh, he
another
gets
one.
two hits. That was a good spam.
He should be quite low now, Gibby.
Gibby didn't appear to be too ready for that spam actually.
Yeah. Both of them are using the middle sword as well from the Nords.
Yeah, but I mean, you could really see that in the main part of the first duel was like a little bit more passive. They just
Yeah.
waited each other out, and at a certain point when one of the players got hit, it suddenly went like
That's when the fight actually
very
started.
aggressively for
Yeah.
a couple seconds.
You see the difference in the fights right now as well compared to the first round. It's much more aggressive now, and
Ooh,
Maximum
triple
evening it
spam.
out, taking it 1-1.
Yeah, and there you can see the aggressiveness of Maximo going to work, and like I said before, like um. Gibby, he's a defensive player, and as such he's content to just wait his enemy out and block a lot.
Kick and
But
head
at
slash
the
there.
moment, I feel like he's making a little bit more mistakes than Maximo. Maximo,
Yeah,
of
seems
course,
like
did have a couple of like mistakes in the first
in the
duel,
first round,
but
definitely. He did some mistakes, but he's fixed a lot of them now.
yeah, I mean, Gibby so far has gotten spammed 2 or 3 times by Maximo, I think.
Yeah.
So it's
He even
something for
got
Maximo to keep in mind. But
he even got
on
kick
the other
slash there.
hand, like right now you can see that it is
Oh, another hit.
another spam. Like Gibby is just trying not to fall for the spams that much now,
Yeah.
but he still seems to like not expect it or something.
Yeah, he seems to be a little bit on the back feet here.
Well, it's kind of like that moment at which you feel very confident in your ability to counterattack after your opponent has done his first hit, but then you actually end up being in a bad
Yeah.
spot and you get spammed, you know? And you just can't really allow to go for that when players are like equally skilled.
Yeah, I think the skill level on these two players are relatively even. Tries for a kick there but misses it. Not really getting punished for it though. Oh, that was a good hit.
Little feint there from Gibby.
Both of them should be quite low health now.
Yeah, I mean, this is really gonna come down to who is gonna make the most amount of mistakes in a short amount of time, and who can
Yeah.
get his opponent to make those mistakes, you know?
It looks like Gibby taking the 2-1 here.
Well, what I think Gibby did good in that duel, I think he got it 2 times that Maximou wanted to spam, and he just counterattacked right afterwards. Like,
Yeah. Oh, tries for a kick but misses again. Soft spot back on Gibby. There's a baiting
yeah.
kick there, just to see if it would work. Didn't. I'm a big fan of kicks. I really like kicks.
Okay.
Dude, come on, kicks are fun.
Well, Gibby tries to go for a move, and he's immediately punished by Maximou.
Yeah, evening it out now in damage.
It just comes to show how defensive, like how much both players are like banking on the fact that the enemy is gonna make a mistake at some point. They're just waiting to punish it.
Yeah, exactly.
Both of them.
Oh, should have taken
Good move by
nice
Maximou.
slunk there of his health.
Well, we
Turn,
can't
though.
actually see the health,
Yeah,
so we don't know.
it's a bit shame we couldn't see the health, but we can guess-ish based on the loudness of the screams.
Well, I think especially Maximou is making a little bit more moves. I don't know how much he's getting out of it. It's like he tries to go for a move and then he goes for a spam, but right now Gibby seems a little bit more ready for it. So he's fixed that problem.
Yeah.
That's
Seems
good,
like,
because otherwise he will just get spammed out by Maximou. Right?
Yeah, his spams have been quite solid so far.
Yeah. Like, Gibby should watch out that he doesn't get spammed out, but Maximou at the same time should get, like, make sure that he doesn't get over eager and just randomly spam when Gibby's ready for it.
Too aggressive going as a defensive player usually doesn't work out so well.
Well, it depends. Oh, good spam.
Maximou
See,
evening it out.
that's what I mean.
Yeah, exactly.
It's like there's just that one moment at which Gibby isn't really like ready, or he's not making the correct move in response to what Maximou's doing, and he's dead. And if Maximou tries to go for a spam, I actually think if Maximou just goes for spams at a little bit more calculated moments, he is making less mistakes than Gibby in that case. Like there again, he tried to triple spam and just didn't work.
Tried to kick as well, also getting hurt for that.
Yeah.
Gibby is just playing, as his style is, quite defensive here.
Oh, Maximou is too though.
Yeah, but Maximou's the one who's taking the initiative, usually. He's the one who's actually going for an attack.
Yeah, but that's kind of what you get though. Like a defensive player usually won't be the one who really takes the initiative in the fight.
That's one of the points of being defensive. Like, you just wait for your enemy to make a move.
Yeah. I actually think one of the main like points of critique that I have about what Maximou is doing right now is like he's doing fine most of the time, but he just chooses some inopportune moments for spamming sometimes, and that was.
He lost his focus there. He didn't have him centered and just lost him. Lost the fight. 3-2 to Gibby.
Yeah, just getting a little bit too over eager.
Yeah.
It's like you need to think about when it's actually necessary to go for a certain move and when it's not, because making the move just for the sake of making a move won't usually achieve a heck of a lot, you know.
Yeah. You just wanna actually win. It doesn't need to look flashy if it works. And that's kind of what
that was
doing.
A good move by Gibby. Very quick.
Yeah, it was quick. Failing the kick, but not getting punished. None of them. They've done quite well with their kicks.
There you have the eagerness of Maximou again.
Yeah,
like, I kind of feel like Maximou, for some reason, he feels pressured by Gibby, so he keeps going for spams and kicks because he kind of wants to end the duels as quickly as possible.
Yeah.
I don't know if that is because he thinks he will make more mistakes on the long run in a duel. I actually don't feel like that.
He's not gonna benefit from that, because from what I was told from the duel in the last tournament, Gibby played for like 45 minutes in a duel. Like, I don't think you're gonna be able to wait Gibby out.
45 minutes in a duel? What?
That's what I was told. Like, the duel against Arnie lasted for like,
wait, you mean like an FT7 though, right? Not like a...
No, not like one round. That would be sick.
Well, but that's what you said. I was like,
No!
what?
Oh, no. A duel is a first to 7 in this case, for those wondering. It's like, at least when I speak. Evening it out though, 3-3.
Yeah.
Maybe a bit more even than people thought.
No, I actually think that Maximou could like be beating Gibby right now if he just wasn't getting over eager.
Maybe. A lot of support for Maximo in the chat at least. Both in game and.
Well, I mean, from his teammates, he better get support from
we
them,
never
right?
support our teammates like this. Maybe that's why
Oh.
we're losing.
Well, that's good to know for next time.
Yeah. Next time I'll be there.
Yeah. Both players actually started making a couple more feints all the time now.
It looks
like,
a bit more defensive now than it was before.
In the beginning, it was
a kick
that
and
was
a
a
head
good
slash. That was good.
Yeah.
And soft spot in the head as well. Those helmets help a lot though.
Oh no, that
not
kick!
Enough. Yeah,
No,
the kick cost him
not
so
like
much.
this. Oh.
That kick cost him his life there. 4-3 to Gibby. That's the thing. Gibby is just winning one round and Maximou is just evening it out.
Yeah, but like the main reason that Maximou is losing like more duels right now is just because he is being so aggressive. Like he's being more aggressive than he should be. Or well, I mean, it's fine to be that aggressive to be honest, but he chooses to go aggressive at moments at which it's just completely like not possible to go aggressive.
Yeah, maybe he's, as you said, just being a little bit too over aggressive. Gibby's a little bit more defensive now, just essentially just blocking.
Well, I mean, going too defensive all of a sudden might benefit Gibby, to be honest. Like, he still needs to make the spam moves, because Gibby does make mistakes when Maximou does that, but he just shouldn't keep doing it, and he should not, like, kick against Gibby, I feel. Like, the kicks
he
just
landed
aren't
one
landing.
kick so far. One kick and one head slash. It was a good kick, but so far, like maybe 10% of the kicks have been landed in this fight.
Well, I mean, I just feel like for both players, the kicks are kind of like a wild card when you think about it, right? Because if you don't have the perfect like chain of events for the kick to hit, then it's not gonna hit. So why go for it? Because it's risky as shit.
Yeah, it's really risky. Like sometimes when you're in a fight, you know, like, oh, if I kick now, it's like one of us is gonna die.
Yeah.
In my case, it's usually me. But still.
I mean, Maximou is just trying to exchange hits a little bit more now and go less for the spams, which I think is kind of an improvement, but he should just wait for a good moment to spam.
Yeah. What do you think of the foot movement so far from both enemies?
It's decent. I actually think that Gibby's footwork has been more on point, but he has just been falling for the spams a little bit more.
Yeah.
Yeah, like Maximou is kind of screwing over his footwork with the kicks. You see, he kicks, and he's just in a bad position to counter Gibby's move, or well, maybe to see it or whatever. Anyways, he made a mistake and he died for it at that
That's the
particular moment. So
these are the analyses that I make. You're here to make the more detailed ones.
Well, it's kind of what happened though.
That's very true. 5-3 to Gibby so far.
It's still gonna be up to Gibby not to get in this like state of mind where he's like, oh, I'm like 2 or 3 duels up, and then he just starts making mistakes. And that kick,
That was a well landed kick. Maximou went basically into it though. It was a bit of an easy kick there.
I mean, I think Gibby just wants to end this as soon as possible, because you see, every time Maximou goes for the spam, he kind of like gets up in Gibby's face, which he has to do if he actually wants to land the whole spam. But if he makes one mistake in his footwork, then he just gets kicked.
Yeah, exactly. Soft spot there, not really doing damage, but there we go.
Yeah. And I feel like Maximou is at a very big disadvantage, because it looks like he doesn't really feel comfortable going for his spams that much anymore. So instead of actually like still going for the same kind of spammy kind of style and just waiting for a good opportunity to like get a hit in, he is not doing his spams at all. And I actually feel like
His
his
spams
spams were
quite
one
good,
of his strongest
Yeah.
weapons in these fights so far.
2 hits landed on Maxi so far.
Yep.
He's 1 more hit and he's out from this tournament. Or he gets sent into the loser bracket. It's match point to Gibby right
yeah,
now,
not
6-3.
out of the tournament in this case.
He can still do well, yeah. Oh,
Yep.
7-3 win to Gibby.
Yep, 7-3.
It went really well in the beginning.
Well, it kind of went well up until a certain point. It's like Maximou started out with the style which like Gibby had to get into it a little bit, I feel like. Like at the
Yeah.
beginning I really felt like Maximou was actually playing better than Gibby, like he had more tools to work with. But as time progressed, like Gibby solved his problems, like with the spams, he got killed by it a lot less. And Maximou didn't really adapt to it, I feel. Like, he didn't really change anything up that solved the issue. Well, I mean,
He
he
tried to
tried.
change it up, but it didn't
At a
really
certain
solve it.
point, he tried, but it just didn't work out for him because, like, one of his biggest strengths for the fights were, I feel, his spam and just his aggressive moves in general. But just like the fact that he should make less mistakes when he does them was what would have like made the big difference, you know. But he didn't. I don't think he saw that. Maybe he tilted.
Maybe a little
It's
bit.
possible.
It also doesn't really help that it's streamed. And welcome, Gibby.
Yeah.
Hey, thanks.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
So there's like this question that I wanted to ask. When you like started FT7 versus Maximou, it kind of felt like to me that Maximou was a little bit like he caught you a little bit off guard with your style, or maybe you just got had to get into the fights. But what did you try to do to fix it up?
Well, no, pretty much like with all of my duels, I almost always end up like, with my opponent beating me for the first few duels, and then I bring it back. I think mainly it's just that I keep my style consistent throughout the entire thing. It's like, even when I've been hit a couple of times, I just keep playing exactly the same as before. Or even when I'm, like a few duels down, I don't start going crazy trying to spam, like desperate for kills. I just keep it the same, and it catches the other people out because they start changing it based on the points.
I mean, consistent play is of course good, but I did actually feel like that after the first couple of duels, you simply just like in the first couple of duels, you got spammed by Maximum a couple of times, and
Yeah.
you missed on your blocks with that, or well, you just didn't expect it, or whatever happened. Anyways, it did feel like after those couple of duels, you just fixed that, you just blocked it or countered it, and yeah. It honestly felt to me like at that point, Maximou was just getting a little bit too overeager. I don't know how you experienced that. Like, how did you experience Maximou's way of playing? What did you think?
Going into it, I saw he beat Menethil 7-1, so I was pretty cautious because I expected Menethil to win that by quite a lot. But then he beat Menethil, so I was like, he must be pretty good. And honestly, I was quite impressed with his style. Like, I feel like he just did get impatient because the first like 6 duels, wasn't it? It was like 3-3, and he was playing really well there,
3-3.
and it was really intense fights, and I was like, I'm probably barely gonna win this first 7, but like I just kept my style consistent. I felt like he started getting a bit aggressive. Once it got to like 5-3 kind of stage, he was kind of like spamming. He was trying to get his kills back. He was trying to keep himself in it, but I feel like that's actually what made him lose. At least by the amount that he did, I feel like he could have done a lot better.
Well, something that I noticed a little bit in what he changed up to try and like get the FT7 a little bit more back into his favor was the fact that he started like using kicks a lot. But I mean, you're generally a defensive player in my opinion,
Yeah.
and I just feel like kicks versus defensive players often don't really pay off. But like, what do you think he should have done to fix it? Because I feel like he should not have reverted to using kicks at all, but maybe.
Yeah. Well, the thing that I'm always careful with, when I know that even against players that kick, I know you can stab and you can hit them, but I can't chamber very well. I can chamber one direction, and that's the right side. But I'm
Probably
absolutely
because of
awful.
inverse.
Yeah, I mean, I'm awful at chambering stab. So like, I never risk the stab because if the other opponent like chambers it, I'm just hit and that's it. I try to jump out the way if they chamber it. Which is pretty,
Okay.
that's like not really what you want to be doing, but so I'm always really cautious about doing the stabs, but like generally when people kick, you can still get around them, hit them in the back, stuff like that. I feel like he should have maybe turtled down because he was feinting quite a lot. I feel like if he just, slowed that down, gone for more like holds, slow down the spam as well.
Yeah, what I kind of felt like mainly the fact that he got eager was what wore him down in my opinion, but of course that he tried a couple of different things, but all in the same kind of rhythm, like the aggressive kind of like I need to win some duels kind of style.
Yeah,
Like he tried kicks, he tried spams, and both kind of failed. But what I feel like he should have probably done was play a little bit more, like as you said, a little bit more easy on, take it a little bit slower and just
yeah,
wait for opportunities to actually do those spams. Because I think his spams were pretty good, but I think for you it probably got a little bit predictable at some
yeah.
point.
I mean, even Saul warned me before it started. He said to me, if Maximou, I've got the chat here. If Maximou does stupid spam mistakes, you'll probably win by a lot. Sol actually said that to me before it started, and his spam was really good to start with, but I feel like he did start making those mistakes as it got into it.
Well, it just felt like he started doing it too often as well. I
Yeah.
saw him in the beginning just triple spamming you out, and it worked, but
Yeah.
for the first couple of duels. But after that, you're just ready for it at that point.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think overall, I felt like it would be pretty close, but indeed, like as you heard from Sol, I felt like if Maximo would go too over aggressive, which he kind of did, in my opinion, he would just like die because of his own aggressiveness. Which is a shame, I think, because I think it could have been a lot closer than this if he was somewhat more patient.
Yeah. I agree with that, to be honest. I think he could have done better.
All right,
He still has a chance to. He can make it out of the losers bracket.
That's true.
that's true indeed. So, wait, do you already know who you're gonna be facing up against next?
Razor, I believe.
Alright, I don't know too much about Razor's melee style, I don't know. Do you
I mean,
know, like, what do you expect from that matchup?
I don't know his style, but I mean, to get there, he beat he beat Victor 7-2. And Victor's quite good at one-hand dueling. I mean, he's been putting a lot of time into it, I know, and he's actually gotten quite decent at it.
He started as
So
an infantry, didn't he? Then he changed to cav. So
yeah, and I mean, I've seen him on Ludus quite a bit one-hand dueling, and he's been pretty decent there. So I mean, beating him 7-2, but maybe it's just kind of the thing that happened with Maxim beating Menethil 7-1. I mean, Maxim, I mean, from my experience dueling them both, I would say that Maximo is better than Menethil in one-hand duels, but 7-1 is a pretty convincing score.
Yeah.
I don't think anyone can beat, and I don't think anyone should be able to beat Menethil 7-1. To be honest.
Well, I
So,
mean, I do kind of feel like that could be down to Maximus' style as well, because, like, Maximus' spams on one hand are really solid, I feel like. So if Manethil then doesn't really find a solution to that and he keeps falling for the spams, or maybe Maximu just plays that little bit more patient that he probably should have, then yeah, I think there is actually a good chance that Manethil loses that though. Like most of the time versus Maximo.
yeah, but I mean, 7-1 is still a pretty.
7-1
it'd
is
be
still
quite
pretty
close, yeah.
convincing, of course, but
Yeah.
it also depends on like when you match up against each other. Like at a certain point in time, you might play a lot better or worse than at any other given point in time. You know, like maybe Maximo just tilted in FT7, and he
Yeah.
started making the mistakes that he probably shouldn't.
He might have made mistakes he wouldn't normally make as well. But it is what it is.
Yeah, I mean, in the FT7, it's gonna matter, right?
Yeah,
So
exactly.
if you don't perform at that particular moment, then yeah, that kind of sucks. But it's just how it is, I suppose. Um, Yeah, do you have any more questions, Greed?
I don't have any, except do you have any shoutouts, Gibby?
To Peter, my dad, for coming and supporting me.
Oh,
And and to the Legion people for watching it as well.
yeah, they were cheering for you from the stand.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was pretty cool.
Well, in that
Alright.
case, congratulations once again, and have a good night. Okay. Do you have any final
You
words?
just
I
move
have
him
to.
out of the
I
channel
have to.
because he doesn't leave himself.
I gave him a chance. Do you have any final words before we end? We should learn to end on a humanly possible time.
Oh, I think that's gonna be fine now though, because I think with what we talked about in the interview,
The
most
interview
of
was
it.
solid enough to say, like, I didn't have to say anything. It's beautiful. I could
Oh,
just sip my iced tea and have fun and listen to you guys.
that's what you got though, right?
Yeah, perfect. In that case, we'll see what we can stream next. No plans yet, but I like doing this. We'll do more. I also learn more infantry when I do this.
Oh, you do? What have you learned today?
I learned over-aggression will get you killed.
Oh, that's actually a good one for you.
Thank you.
Yeah. So guys, if you see Greed, just wait for him to go for like a stupid kind of.
if you're
He thinks
patient,
he
I
can
will die.
outrange move, and you just kill him.
I have no patience in melee. I
Easiest,
run in and I
easiest
fight
duel of
until I
your
die.
life.
Thanks everyone for knowing that about me now. I'll be on IG later tonight. Have fun.
Nothing personal, Greed.
Nah,
Don't
thanks,
worry
man.
about it.
Well, that's it. Have a good night, everyone. Thank you for watching. I think we had like 20 people watching. It's new for duels.
Uh-huh.
And we'll see you next time. Say goodbye, Raven.
Yeah, yeah. Goodbye.
Thanks.